So it seems that the Boston Celtics are trying to acquire Kevin Durant, and they are currently the front runners to do so. Boston Celtics offered Jaylen Brown and Derek White along with one draft pick, and that was turned down by Brooklyn, and they counter-offered with Jaylen Brown, Marcus Smart, another rotation player, and multiple draft picks from Boston to get the deal done for KD. So let's get into that. Should the Boston Celtics make that trade of Jaylen Brown, Marcus Smart, and picks along another role player? That's a lot to offer, but you are getting one of the best players to ever play the game in Kevin Durant back. This is definitely going to be a fun topic to talk about. In the NBA, there isn't much people that I would trade Jaylen Brown and Marcus Smart for. They are two just terrific players, and they really are the Boston Celtics. The energy they bring, the defense they bring, has set the standard for Boston Celtics and the way they've carved their new franchise. They are a defensive first team that plays for one another and go deep. And if you make this trade, you're going to lose two just great defenders, and you can lose a little bit of depth alongside losing another player that's a rotation piece. This is a crazy trade, and it's definitely going to help Brooklyn get better, and it does have the potential to help Boston become even better and be even more of a championship team than they already are. So if this is a good trade for both sides, why isn't this trade done yet? And that is simple. Boston loves Jaylen Brown. They have been loyal with him, and he has been loyal to them for many years now. They've had a great relationship, but it is starting to look rocky with them including him in this trade package for KD. As you see on Twitter, Jaylen Brown, they're shaking my head. He isn't, of course, happy. He seems to want to still play even if they don't get this trade done in Boston. He's not requesting a trade as of now or anything. So it is hard to see because he has been so loyal to this franchise. He was one of the best players in that finals for Boston. And to see him included in a trade package, it's something that he doesn't deserve. But it is a business, as everyone knows. As every player has stated for years now, this is a business first. But if anyone doesn't deserve to be traded, it's got to be him. As much respect as I give Jason Tatum, and as good as he is, it is clear if you watch those NBA Finals this year, Jaylen Brown was the best player on that Boston Celtics team. And even for a lot of part of that year, he did come up for many stretches and be the number one option for the Boston Celtics. But he never really got that respect, as he was always kind of the 1B to Jason Tatum, which sucks because I think Jaylen Brown can definitely, if he did go to another team, could shine more, get more shots, become more of a household name, and become even more of a star. But he is such a great fit with Boston. I would not want to see him go anywhere else because I would love to see Jason Tatum, Jaylen Brown, and that Boston Celtics team actually go through and win the finals. But if you can get Kevin Durant for Jaylen Brown, as much as I respect Jaylen Brown and how much he's shown me that he is a baller this year, I have to make that trade 100 times out of 100 just for the fact that you're getting a generational talent and one of the best players to ever pick up a basketball in Kevin Durant. I know he's older, but he has a long time left on his contract. He is a solid bucket getter. When he plays defense, he is one of the best in the NBA when he really clamps down when he wants to. He's also, as like I just said, is unstoppable. This is someone you're getting that's going to add to Jason Tatum. And of course, losing Marcus Smart as well would definitely hurt. But you did just acquire another great point guard in Malcolm Brogdon, so that would help ease the blow a little bit. But of course, you can never replace Marcus Smart or Jaylen Brown. You're only substituting with different players. And I think Malcolm Brogdon, if this trade was to go through, would be the new starting point guard, and he is definitely a good fit. Nowhere near the defense you're getting with Smart, but a little bit more efficient on offense, so it's kind of a trade there. But I think that's really the way you got to look at it right now is, of course, the depth is not going to be as good if you do go through with this trade. But there is still the buyout market next season. I'm sure a lot of guys would want to come play for that Kevin Durant Boston Celtics team. I'm sure you remember when the Toronto Raptors traded DeMar DeRozan for Kawhi Leonard, and a lot of Raptors fans and DeMar DeRozan's fans were not happy with that because DeMar loved being a Raptor. They were a great team, first seed in the East. They just couldn't get over the hump, but they had people that wanted to play for the Toronto Raptors and had a great system. But they said they got to go, they got to get Kawhi Leonard, and they traded DeMar DeRozan against a lot of the fans' happiness. A lot of fans didn't want to see that trade go down, as Kawhi Leonard's contract did end after one season. But they went all in, got Kawhi, and as you know, the rest is history. The Raptors win the 2019 NBA Finals, and it was just a great team with Kawhi Leonard. He did end up leaving, but they did end up getting what they wanted, an NBA championship. And I feel if the Boston Celtics want to win the finals next year and give them the best chances to do so, you have to go get KD. So what do you guys think of a big three of Jason Tatum, Jaylen Brown, and Marcus Smart? Or do you like a big three of Malcolm Brogdon, Kevin Durant, and Jason Tatum? They are both championship contending big threes, so Boston is set either way. No matter if they make this trade or not, they are championship favorites next year. They have tons of great players on this team, a great coach, a great front office, and is someone that can get a title regardless if they make this trade. But if you go get Kevin Durant, they are by far and out leading contenders to win the finals next year. In my personal opinion, it's going to have to suck, but you're going to have to trade Jaylen Brown and Marcus Smart. I would personally do that with some picks, or would have to discuss who the other player would be because there can be a lot of different options. But I would definitely do that to get Kevin Durant because he is, like I said, a once-in-generational talent. If you put Kevin Durant on the floor with Jason Tatum, it's going to open up his game a lot more. You're going to see a lot more spacing and a lot more flow, I feel like, and a lot more consistency with Kevin Durant. But you are losing the loyalty of Brown and someone that loves to be a Boston Celtic, because there is a chance you can get KD and he doesn't like playing in Boston or whatever it may be, and you just lost a guy like Jaylen Brown that loved playing for your franchise, and that's always hard to deal with. I go back and forth on if I would make this trade as the GM of the Boston Celtics because they both have pluses and negatives. Who knows, you make that trade, you win the next 2 NBA Finals, or what if you don't make the trade and you end up losing in the Finals next year and someone ends up leaving in the offseason? There's just so much that can happen. We all can't predict the future here, but in my opinion, if I was given the keys to the Boston Celtics franchise, I would make this trade, and I would just have to live with it because this is, like I said, something you never get offered. They're getting offered Kevin Durant, and they don't even have to give up their best player. That is something I feel like any team would really do. It's going to be a hard decision for Boston to make, but I can see them going through with this, and I'm sure there's going to be a lot more talks, and I know Boston wants to acquire KD. So if you guys were the GM of the Boston Celtics, let me know what you would do. Would you take on the KD trade, or would you like to keep the pairing of Jaylen Brown and Marcus Smart? Because I know so many fans absolutely love those two, and they are just a huge part of that franchise, and I know tons and tons of people do not want to see this go down. There's a lot of Jaylen Brown fans, and even Jaylen Brown himself, feeling a little disrespected right now. So thank you guys for watching. Hit the like button if you enjoyed. Hit the subscribe button if you want to see more NBA content, and I'll definitely see you guys next time.